Hi, my name is Wilman Ziada, and I'm a New York City-based director and creator of theater, television, and film, and I'm also a proud FENIX Global Artist Ambassador. Today, I am thrilled to be speaking with star of Broadway, off-Broadway, countless commercials, and television, including the shows Shades of Blue and Blue Bloods. His name, Scott Richard Foster. For more on Scott, you can view his bio right below this video, and in the meantime, here's a sneak peek at Scott's amazing talent.
Everybody has a backstory. It's a thing that you can't resist. Luke and Leia, they were siblings, which they learned after they kissed. So if everybody has a backstory, then I guess it must be true. You all got one deep inside, and me, I got one too. Now some of my backstory. Got beat up on the playground by a Trekkie in first grade. In my defense, she was way taller, so it made sense to be afraid. And as she pounded me to the pavement, she screamed, "I hate Boba Fett!" And so I drove back to my parents' house while she put out her cigarette.
Well, hello, Scott. How are you?
Hey, Will, I'm awesome. Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Scott, I'm a huge fan of yours. I've known about you for years. Card revealed. I'm so happy that our mutual friend, Billy Reese, introduced us, and I'm just excited to be speaking with you today.
Thank you. I'm excited. I'm excited to talk to you. I love Billy. I miss him. Like, the pandemic thing, it's been rough. I haven't seen any of those guys from Musical About Star Wars in like a year.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, listen, the audience just got to listen to a little bit of your amazing talent, Scott, and I want to know where you grew up and when you knew that you had, this musical gift.
All right. I grew up in small town West Texas. I would say small town. It's small town, like in that it's sort of by itself, named San Angelo, Texas, and from the ripe old age of like 5, my mom started putting me in church musicals, played like David and Goliath and Noah, a 5-year-old with playing like a 400-year-old guy.
As you do.
Yeah, absolutely. So I guess like at that age, I started loving the musical aspect of it, but I also just loved like being the goofball. So like at talent shows and stuff, I started doing, believe it or not, back then it was okay. I did Bill Cosby stand-up, and I did like just dumb stand-up that I would do, and completely like repeating famous stand-up artists that were already there, George Carlin, people like that, the PC stuff, like not like the 7 words or anything like that. But I discovered I loved like hearing people like clap or laugh at you or with you, hopefully with you. And it's just been like just there ever since,
Yeah, well, I mean, you probably realized from an early age you could get away with anything on the stage, and wait, they're laughing at me, wait, they're clapping at me. You would normally get in trouble for this. And I love the fact too, Scott, that we'll get into your inspirations musically. And by the way, I love your whole set going on, plus the Prince shirt and everything. Rock star, man. I love the fact that when you were a kid that you were, literally imitating your favorite comedians. I mean, that's amazing. Talk about imitations, the best form of flattery. Musically, though, who were some of your inspirations?
Well, obviously, for people that know, that's my Van Halen wall. If you know, you know. I was one of the first albums I ever saved up and bought. I went and mowed a bunch of lawns, and I bought, this is how old I am, I bought the cassette tape of 1984 with the little baby smoking the cigarette on the front, and like Jump, Panama, Hot for Teacher, like they had me on that. So, but vocally, I don't know. No offense to David Lee Roth, he's the king there, but as far as that goes, but not necessarily vocally my inspiration. Freddie Mercury comes to mind. I got a 45, gosh, I keep dating myself here. I got a 45 record from my sister handed down to me of Another One Bites the Dust. And I was like, this guy's blowing my mind. From then on, I wanted to sing like Freddie Mercury. And then when I got my first view of professional musical theater was when we had to go to a bigger city. We went to Dallas and we saw Jesus Christ Superstar. And I got to see Ted Neely, but more importantly for me was Carl Anderson in Judas. As Judas, he absolutely blew my mind. I sobbed when he died, and I don't think you're supposed to when Judas dies, but he was so good in that. It was unbelievable, and I got to meet him afterwards because I lied and told when they came out. Ted Neely was from Ranger, Texas, and he goes, "Who here is from Ranger, Texas?" And I was like, "I am." I was not from Ranger, but he let me back.
Whatever. You're from Texas. You weren't lying. You didn't hear Ranger. So
yeah. But he was like, "Come on in." So I went back in, and I'm like walking around, and there's Carl Anderson. I was just like walking up to him, staring at him, like doing the idiotic, "You're Carl Anderson." He's like, "I know."
What I love so much, Scott, and the way the universe worked for you is that these two worlds that you were so in that you became part of, right, later on in your professional career came together from a very early age, that you literally have created a career for yourself that involves both the pop rock sensibility with Broadway. I mean, people don't know, you recently starred in the Broadway production of Getting the Band Back Together, plus the fact you were a part of one of my favorite musicals that should have lasted on Broadway far longer than it did, and I think was way ahead of its time, the musical Brooklyn. I want to know for you, you've had such an amazing career as well as on TV. I consider you, I feel like on the television world, you have this thing with the color blue, Shades of Blue, Blue Bloods, two shows I love. I want to know for you, favorite Broadway memories that you've had being on the stage, and then two, what you love being a part of all the TV's Blue.
All right. Well, I'll tell you, my favorite Broadway memory was getting the last bow. For those that don't know in theater, like if we all love supporting each other and everything, but we all got egos. And eventually, at some point in your career, you want the last bow before everybody says goodnight, thanks for coming. You want to be in the center, and I got it. And what an amazing feeling, when you come out there and you wave to the audience and they cheer, and then you bow and everybody says goodnight, and then everybody's clapping and celebrating, doing that little playoff music, which is so much fun. As far as Brooklyn, I had great memories, but they were mostly of just like jaw-dropping watching Eden. For anyone who doesn't know Eden Espinosa, that was kind of like her breakout thing, well-deserved, like unbelievable voice in that show. And Karen Olivo was also like, that was one of her first gigs.
Would later win the Tony Award for Anita in the West Side Story revival, and obviously would go on to star in The Heights, and now is the star of a Tony nominee. She may win for Moulin Rouge.
I mean, I guess she's done a couple things since then, but but yeah,
it was amazing. But so have you, my friend. I mean, you've traversed Broadway, you've traversed the music scene, you've traversed television, film. For an artist like you, who has such an amazing talent, and you're known here in the States, being a part of an app like FENIX, where you're going to be able to not only, gain a wider fan base in the East and elsewhere, I just think about also just like your sound. I mean, it's transcendent, it's universal, to just even the potential to collaborate with other people in other countries. What would that mean like for you?
I think it'd be awesome, first of all, because one of the big wake up moments I had, to be honest with you, about folks in the East and stuff, was hearing the new lead singer for Journey, Arnold Pineda. Like that they just found this guy on YouTube, and he was cracking it out in the Philippines, just killing it and sounding as good. Maybe I'm blasphemous, but as good as Steve Perry. Dude has an incredible voice, and I was like, and I started like putting two and two together, and listening to the music that people in Japan, Taiwan, and China and all the Asian countries were listening to. And it's like, that's like my music. That's what I love. And like, it's, you know, a lot of people in America say rock is dead, but it ain't over there. You know, they love it over there. And it's so cool.
And not only rock, they also love musical theater like it's popular music.
Absolutely. And yeah, and kind of, you know, kind of melds together over there. And I mean, I would absolutely love to be singing with some of those voices over there. You know, they got some ridiculous rock voices, musical theater voices. And, you know, it's awesome to see that there's just talent all over the world. And now with technology, stuff like the FENIX app, that you can actually, like, I'm here, you know, right now in the New York area, can be, like you said, collaborate or do a duet or something with somebody who's halfway across the world. It's pretty amazing, I gotta say.
No, it really is. It really is. And listen, my friend, I could speak to you with you forever, but I'm excited and grateful for the time you took today. And I'm excited that you're on board with FENIX. And, you know, I'm excited to see what, you know, create next with, you know, hopefully a collaborator through this app.
Yeah, I'm hoping there's going to be some cool stuff, but also some goofy stuff, because that kind of just represents who I am as a whole. So,
and I love that. And we need that right now. We need to both be inspired and entertained. And well, you know, when we got someone like you who's been impersonating George Carlin since he was 5, I think there's a win there.
Yeah. Well, I'll keep it PC.
Thank you so much for your time today, Scott.
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks for having me, Will.
In the digital age, artists and bands struggle to make a living. In fact, only a small number of artists can live off their craft. For the 98% of artists that don't have the luxury of being signed to a label, it's tough. But artists deserve to live off their art. Wherever you are around the world, appreciation of music does not change. FENIX brings bands and their fans together, whilst allowing bands to properly monetize their passion. The FENIX app will directly connect bands and fans with no need for middlemen. We're utilizing the blockchain to give the power back to the artist once and for all. Join FENIX, join the change.